All right, welcome to the meet. It is Chenango Forks varsity girls swimming and diving versus Greene tonight, and it is senior night for the Chenango Forks team. We are just finishing up getting the timing system working. It's having some problems. We will be starting the meets as soon as possible, so stay tuned. All right, so we are starting the meet tonight. Again, it is Chenango Forks varsity swimming and diving versus Greene swimming and diving tonight. Greene will be swimming in lanes 4, 5, and 6. Chenango Forks will be swimming in lanes 1, 2, and 3. So those will be the lanes closest to us. Greene will be in the lanes a little bit farther away. We will be doing diving first in a few minutes. We're just going over the sportsmanship rules. There will be the national anthem in a couple seconds here, and then we will begin with diving warm-ups and then the diving events. So here's the national anthem. All right, so we will be starting with the national anthem in just a second here. It does look as though our stream's coming through a little bit choppy, so we are going to try to fix that. Just stick with us for a second. We still appear to be losing some frames here, so let's see if we can fix that while we're getting diving warm-ups going here. So we will be doing diving for a couple minutes here. There are two divers. It's going to be Stephanie Hall from Chenango Forks and Kaylee Young from Chenango Forks. Before the competition part starts, they will each get a few dives to warm up, so we'll be watching that. And you may lose video feed for a few seconds while I attempt to see if we can fix some of the delays in the frame rate here. All right, we are going to get started here. I've tried to see if we can fix anything with the stream output here. I know it's a little bit laggy, but I don't know what I can do about that right now, so we're just going to go with what we got. So Steph will be going first. Each diver is going to do 6 dives in a specific order. This week they have to pick a specific dive from, well, each week there's a specific dive from a category they have to do first with a maximum DD of 1.7. Steph did a reverse dive in the pike position, and the judges will give her a 4.5, a 6.5, and a 6. So good scores for Steph there. Kaylee's going next. So Kaylee's doing a reverse somersault in the tuck position. The DD is 1.6. Unable to do that. So the judges will give her a failed dive. Now, it is required that each diver try to do a reverse as the first dive for this week. Each week that rotates. Kaylee's still working on a reverse, so doesn't have that, but as long as she doesn't fail any of the other 5 dives, she will still be able to score in this event. So Steph going next. This is her second dive. It's a forward 1.5 in the pike position. The judges will give her a 5, a 6, and a 6.5. So Kaylee will be going next. She will be doing a forward 1.5 somersault, also in the pike position. Again, the DD is 1.7. This is the same dive that we just saw from Steph. Great height off the board there. The judges will give Kaylee a 6, 6, and a 6. So 6s across the board for Kaylee. Very well done. Steph will be doing a forward, one somersault, one twist. So because this is in the free position, she doesn't have to be in a tuck or a pike or anything. As long as she does one full forward rotation and one full lateral rotation, one twist will be good. A really neat looking dive, very well done by Steph. Executed it pretty well. The judges will give her 5.5, 5.5, and 5. Well done, Stephanie. So Kaylee going for her third dive. This is an inward pike, so an inward dive in the pike position. Degree of difficulty 1.5. So for the inward, Kaylee will start on the end of the board facing towards the wall, and then when she jumps back, she starts to rotate towards the board. Very clean. See what the judges think. A 7, a 6, and a 7. Very well done. Great scores for Kaylee there. She looks pretty happy with that one. Starting the fourth round of diving, Steph is doing a 401B, which is the same dive Kaylee just did, inward pike. Again, the degree of difficulty of this dive is a 1.5. Steph also executing it very well. The judges will give her 6.5, 6.5, and 6. So both girls very proficient at that dive and scoring well for it. That said, the degree of difficulty relatively low, so while the judges' scores are high, it's not going to bring them in any huge amounts of points just because of that degree of difficulty being low. Kaylee's fourth dive is a back dive in the straight position. Degree of difficulty for this one is 1.7. Very well done. Judges 5.5, 5.5, and 6. Stephanie will now be doing the same dive Kaylee just did, a 201A, back dive straight position. 1.7 is the degree of difficulty for this one. Well done from Kaylee. Scores are 5.5, 5, and 6. Well done. Kaylee is doing a 52.11A, so this is a back dive with a half twist. Degree of difficulty 1.8. Now, what Kaylee wants to be able to do is to dive off the board straight and then twist in midair. She doesn't want to have to use the board to twist or start her twist before she leaves the board. So she's off clean, gets around, straight in. And the judges will give her 5, 5, and 5.5. So starting the last round of diving, Steph will be doing the dive Kaylee just did, back dive, 1/2 of a twist, straight position, degree of difficulty 1.8. Judges will give her 4.5, 5.5, and 4.5. Kaylee's final dive Be a 202A. That's a back somersault in the straight position. The degree of difficulty for this is 1.7. So the interesting thing about the back dive in the straight position and the back somersault in the straight position is that they're the same difficulty level, even though one of them has a whole extra half of a rotation. Very impressive looking. She gets it around, comes in the water straight. Judges will give her 5.5, 6, and 5.5. So well done for both of those ladies. We are done with diving relatively fast with only 2 of them tonight, and we are going to jump into the medley relay next. Again, I know we're experiencing some choppiness in the stream. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to fix that right now. So the competitors for the medley relay can be seen at the top of your screen. Again, Greene will be in lanes 1, 2, or excuse me, CF will be in 1, 2, and 3. Greene in 4, 5, and 6. We'll adjust the camera so we can see more of the pool here. There we go. So, Greene will be in lanes 4 through 6, Forks 1 through 3. 1 through 3 are the lanes closest to us on the camera here. 4, 5, and 6 are a little bit farther away on the distant side of the pool. Now in this race, Greene has only 4 swimmers. Chenango, so they will have 1 relay team. Chenango Forks has 2 relay teams. The team from Greene is Cherish Nowak, Skylar Nowak, Sophia Hanselman, and Natalie Specht. From Chenango Forks in lane 3, we have Tori Austin doing backstroke, Olivia McPeak breaststroke, Sam Williams butterfly, and Angie Forster free. And then in lane 2 for Chenango Forks, Lizzie Davis doing backstroke, Stephanie Hall, who is our diver, doing breaststroke, Josie Cornell doing butterfly, and Jocelyn Hall doing freestyle. Now, both of these teams tonight, both Greene and Forks, are missing several of their competitors due to a number of factors. So we can expect to see a lot more empty lanes than we would see normally, perhaps outside of the pandemic. But both teams are going to be competing with what they have, and hopefully everyone will be healthy by the end of next week for the sectionals competition. All right, so that whistle signifies it's time for the backstrokers to step into the water. So they have done so. I'm just waiting for the starter now. And the race is off. So again, for Greene in lane 4, it's Cherish. For Chenango Forks, lane 3, it's Tori. And in lane 2, Lizzie. So in a relay like this, each team has 4 swimmers that go in succession as one swimmer finishes. The next swimmer starts now. Each swimmer does 50 yards for a total of 200. 50 is down and back. What's unique about this relay, there are 3 total in a varsity meet, is that each swimmer has to do a different stroke. And there is a method to the madness. There's a specific order of strokes that swimmers must swim. So first off here, you see backstroke. Up next, we will see breaststroke with Olivia McPeak diving off in lane 3. Stephanie Hall right next to her in lane 2. And then out in lane 4, it's going to be Skylar for Greene. As soon as the backstroker touches, Skylar will be off the block, and she is away. So Tori Austin coming in a little bit ahead for Forks in lane 3, just ahead of Lizzie there, giving Olivia a slight lead. That said, Stephanie had a good underwater pull out off the blocks, closed some of that distance. And we see right now Stephanie's about a body length behind Olivia. So Forks currently in first and second place. Greene doing well out there in third, up in lane 4. Both teams about halfway through this race as they touch the wall in the deep end of the pool. For Chenango Forks, it is Samantha William doing butterfly in lane 3. Josie Cornell doing a 50 butterfly in lane 2. It'll be Sophia Hanselman for Greene off the blocks in lane 4 doing 50 butterfly as well. Again, we apologize for the choppiness of the stream. There's nothing we can do about it. So Sam's coming into the wall. It'll be Angie Forster off the blocks for her. In lane 3, Forks still holding the lead. In lane 2, it's going to be Jaws Hall off the block. She's away. 50 freestyle from her. And closing up some of the gap here for Greene up in lane 4, it's going to be Natalie Specht. We'll see if she can close some of this distance on the Forks relay in lane 2. Coming in first, though, it is Angie Forster. Looks like she lost her goggles, unfortunately, but still coming into the wall nice and fast. You like to see a swimmer finish with their head down like that, get into the wall. Angie pulling off her goggles now. And Natalie will be making up some of that ground for Greene out in lane 4, getting them into second place position. So they will be finishing second, and the Chenango Forks B relay in lane 2 will be finishing in third. Now in a relay event, up to 3 teams can score with a maximum of 2 per competing team. So all 3 lanes will be earning points for their respective schools in that event tonight. So here are your times. Looks like we've got an issue with the timing pad in lane 2 there. It's still running. Maybe one of the swimmers missed the wall. But the times for lanes 3 and 4 are accurate. The order of finish, obviously not. It was lane 3 in first place, lane 4 in second place, and then lane 2 in third. So up next, we will have the 200-yard freestyle. The 200-yard freestyle. Swimming for Greene in lane 4, it'll be Olivia Ketzak. For lane 3 in Chenango Forks, Gabby Backman. In lane 2 from Chenango Forks, Olivia McPeak. So 2 Olivias and Gabby in this race. Now, in this race, the swimmers have to do freestyle. Well, they don't have to do. It's definitely faster to do what we call the front crawl. There's the start. So when we say freestyle, technically they would be allowed to do any of the 4 competitive strokes or anything else. But what you see them doing in freestyle, the front crawl is definitely the fastest and most energy efficient of the strokes, especially in these longer distance races. So you will see them doing that. Now, anyone who's good at math might already have figured this out at home. The 200-yard freestyle, if each length of the pool is 25 yards, this is 8 lengths. Now, the previous race was also 200. The difference was 4 different girls participated in that race. This time, it is 1 athlete swimming all 200 yards by themselves. Gabby Backman off to a very slight lead for Forks after the 50-yard mark. Olivia from Greene right on her heels. And then just behind them, Olivia McPeak from Chenango Forks. Because this is a freestyle event, the swimmers have a whole lot of things that they can do at their disposal. It's relatively difficult to get disqualified in this event. The only thing you can really do is if you don't hit all 8 walls on each turn in the eventual finish, you have to make sure you do that. And you cannot push off the bottom or pull on the lane line or climb out of the pool, anything like that. So as long as they go back and forth 8 times without really getting any competitive advantage from the surrounding environment, they will be doing fine. Gabby Backman lost a tiny bit of her lead there in the second 50, but she is starting to pull away just again. A very close battle between Gabby and Olivia from Greene. Again, it's that shallow end wall where Olivia Ketzat keeps gaining in some of the distance. Off those turns, she's doing very well, but then across the middle of the pool, Gabby is able to eke out a little bit of distance from her each time. So this will be a close one. Each swimmer coming in 3/4 of the way through their race. They're going to have to use whatever energy they have left. Olivia is right with Gabby there from Greene, and then we have Olivia from Chenango Forks down here in lane 2. She's got 50 yards left. It's Gabby on the wall first from Chenango Forks, 25 yards left. They're coming in, but Olivia hasn't given up yet. Still on her butt. Gabby turning on what energy she's got left. Pulling ahead just a little bit, and it will be Gabby Backman from Chenango Forks in lane 3 with a first place finish, and Olivia just behind her. Great swim for both ladies. We have Olivia McPeak finishing for lane 2 for Chenango Forks down here. The last lap for her as well. The Chenango Forks swimmer is very young. Gabby Backman, a freshman. Olivia McPeak, a sophomore. So hopefully as time passes, this young team will continue to grow. They'll get more kids coming up from the modified program and continue to build this girls program. So great race from all 3 ladies here. Again, seeming to have some problems with the timing system in lane 2. Not sure if that's because Olivia McPeak missed the pads or something's just not firing correctly. We'll have to see as the meet progresses what goes on with that. But here are the times that we do have. Gabby Backman in lane 3 with a time of 2:32.09. And Olivia from Gabby Backman from Chenango Forks in lane 3. And then Olivia from Greene, 2:35.13. Up next will be the 200-yard individual medley. Another 200-yard event. There are a few of these in swim meets. We have races ranging from 50 to 200, but this one's a 200 again. With both teams being short-staffed tonight, the only person in this race is Josie. So a lot of encouragement from her team. Admittedly, it's probably hardest to swim by yourself compared to with anyone else. With other people, you can sort of pace yourself. You can keep track of where you are in your race, keep track of where they are. But swimming by yourself certainly feels a little bit different for someone like Josie, who's been competitively swimming for 4 years. She is also a sophomore on this team. That said, Josie's goal here is to just get out there, do all 200 yards legally, and she is guaranteed first place points if she's able to do so. So typically, if both teams had everyone here and were the correct size, you would see 3 swimmers from each team in each event. But again, short-staffed as they are, Josie's the only competitor. Off to a solid start, though, doing 50 butterfly. So the first relay was a medley relay. There were 4 different strokes that had to be swum. This is the individual medley, so the same idea. But Josie's going to be swimming all 4 strokes by herself, 50 yards of each. So at the varsity level, this race is double in length compared to the modified level. So Josie has to do 50 yards of each stroke. It starts out with a 50 butterfly, then a 50 backstroke, followed by a 50 breaststroke, and finally a 50 freestyle. I'm noticing that the timing board is not showing, so we'll adjust that. There we go. Team very encouraging of Josie. Again, surprisingly difficult to get out there and swim all by yourself. So Josie coming in about halfway through this race with the backstroke. She'll be in on that wall. She's got the turn down, no disqualifications there, and off into the 50-yard breaststroke. So Josie coming in on the second half of her breaststroke here. As she touches the wall, she'll be doing a 50-yard freestyle to finish out this race. This is one of the longer and definitely more exhausting races on the varsity lineup. So it takes a special breed of swimmer one to be able to do this event successfully. You have to be technically proficient in all 4 competitive strokes. And additionally, there are some people that really enjoy the nature of this event, the variety, the toughness and fortitude it takes to get through this. So Josie now doing her last 50 of freestyle, arguably the easiest stroke, but unfortunately it comes at the end of her race where she is exhausted. So just because it's easy by itself does not mean she's having a great time right now. I'm sure she's exhausted and just wants to get into that wall. So she is, you see her kick rate picking up there. She is giving what energy she's got left to come into the deep end wall, get on that touchpad, and end this race. So great swim for Josie there. A finishing time of 3 minutes and 34.567 or seconds. 3:34.56 for Josie Cornell. So up next we have the 50 free. There are 2 heats of this event, which just means we're going to do the same event twice. So up first, from Chenango Forks, there's only fork swimmers in this heat. We have Emily Wilson in lane 1, Jaws Hall in lane 2, and Jess Hall in lane 3. Now the 2 Hall sisters in this event are twins, and both of them are seniors on the Chenango Forks swim team. So tonight is senior night. We will be honoring them after the second heat of the 50 freestyle. All 3 swimmers in this race currently are brand new to swimming this year, brand new to competitive swimming. They're off the blocks and headed down to the shallow end. Now it's a 50 freestyle. They just need to go down and back, and that's it. So a big change from the 3 previous races where it's been 200 yards. This is a sprint event where it's just how fast can you get off the block, down the pool, off that wall, and back onto that touchpad. So the 3 of them coming into the wall, it is Emily Wilson with a slight lead over Jess Hall. And then Jaws Hall right with them there in lane 2. And Emily will be on the wall first. Touchpad not stopping. Maybe Emily missed it. There it goes in lane 3. 52.92. Lane 2 also not stopping. So unfortunately we are having some issues with our timing system tonight. It is quite old and outdated. We were hoping to have it replaced when we got the new pool, but we have not gotten the new pool yet. It keeps getting delayed for years and years and years. So with that new pool will come a new and working timing system, but in the meantime, we're just using what we got. Now it was, the order of finish was Emily Wilson in lane 1 coming in first, Jessica Hall in lane 3 coming in second, and Jaws Hall in lane 2 coming in third. Up next, we have another heat of the 50. This time we have Erin Wilson, again a senior new to the team this year from Chenango Forks in lane 1, Lizzie Davis in lane 2, and Tori Austin in lane 3. Then Skylar and Cherish Nowak, I'm assuming sisters from Greene, but not sure on that one, in lanes 4 and 5. Very good start from all the swimmers. They're off. It is Tori Austin off to a very slight lead off the start, but Skylar quickly gets on her and passes her up there in lane 4. They're coming into the wall. A sprint event. How fast can you start, turn, and finish? It is Skylar now building a sizable lead in lane 4 for Greene, making very good time. Tori in lane 3, still staying in a solid second place, chased right next to her by Lizzie Davis. Both of these ladies sophomores this year for the Chenango Forks team, and a battle for 4th place. Out in lane 5 it's Cherish, and in lane 1 it's Erin. Cherish with a slight lead, passing the flags first. She's coming into the wall, 5 yards left, and it is Cherish on the wall for 4th place, and Erin on the wall, 5th place. Great work to all 5 ladies. So order of finish there, Greene in lane 4 was first, and in lane 5 was fourth. And Chenango Forks, second, third, and fifth. So that is heat 2 of the 50 freestyle. Congratulations, Skylar, on your first place. Now, at this point in the meet, we would normally do diving. Diving was done at the beginning of the meet because we are going to switch to our senior night festivities. Senior night will be happening here. So we are going to be, well, the team is setting up something nice for the girls down there, and we are going to take the stream with us. So if you get motion sick, hold tight for just a couple seconds. We are going to be on the move. So expect a lot of motion from the camera here. In just a minute. We have to change one thing here before we move anywhere. There we go. Oh, actually, this is what we can do. And we will hide these. I'll say that this is right now, live now. Senior nights for Chenango Forks versus Greene. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're on the move. So sit tight with us for just a second. I got it. Well, thank you. Yeah. Hold on.
All right, here we go. We're going to get started. Our first senior of the night is Aaron Wilson.
Do you want to move over to that corner of the table there? All right.
Hello, the seniors' parents' names are Brandy Ruby and Todd Wilson. Her future plans are finishing school in hospitality program and moving to South Carolina. She plans on working and traveling after school and college. Her high school club's activities involve include bowling, swimming, and track. Her history with Chenango diving is this is her first year on varsity, and she really enjoyed it. Her favorite swimming memories when she won her first swimming in our high school, we were all singing and having a good time with us. Her advice would be to give your best try, and that's really enough. Favorite quote is courage doesn't mean you get to be afraid. Courage means you don't let fear get to you. Bethany Hamilton. People she would like to thank are her coaches for having her on the swim team and not giving up on her. She would also like to thank her swim team members for helping her out understanding the different kinds of starts and other swim techniques.
All right. So that was Tori Austin reading some stuff about Aaron Wilson, a new senior on the team that's being honored tonight.
Our next senior is Jessica Hall.
So up next, Jess Hall, another new senior to the team this year. Coming through the archway.
So Jessica's parents' names are Jamie Hall, and her future plans are to go to college. She plans to do track, bowling, her high school clubs and sports, bowling state central division champ of 2021. This is her first year of swimming, and she has learned so much since she's been here. Her favorite memories are when her sister played blocks and when I had saved time. Her advice she would give to her younger swimmers is to never give up. If you put your mind set to it, you can accomplish it. Her favorite quote that keeps her inspired is good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. People she would like to thank is Mrs. Hillis, Mr. Starr, and the whole swim team. She would also like to share and say thank you for letting them be a part of the team and never forget them.
All right. That was Angie Forster reading some stuff about.
Our next senior.
We're getting started on the next one. No, it's Jocelyn Hall. There'll be Lizzie Davis reading for her.
Parents' names is Jesse Smith and Randy Smith. Future plans is to go to college. They want to go to PCC. I will be doing swimming. High school clubs on the bowling team. This is her first year on the Chenango Forks swimming and diving team. Her favorite team memory is when he keeps changing the lineup on me for the meet. Advice you would give to younger swimmers: keep pushing forward, even when it's hard. Her favorite quote is inspired: try your best because your best is enough. People you would like to thank: Mr. Starnes, Mrs. Ellis, for giving me a shot to do swimming. Thanks for making my senior year amazing.
All right, thank you, Lizzie. That was for Jaws Hall. Up next, we have our final senior, Sam Williams.
Sam Williams.
Sam's parents are Tracy Sanderson and Devin Williams. Her future plans are to become an equine veterinarian. She plans to go to college in Morrisville, but she does not plan to do swimming, but she plans to do competitive horseback riding. Throughout high school, she did lacrosse, and she also joined the swim team. Her history was CS swimming and diving, but she was on odd five for 2 years, KO, she went to KO for 3 years, and she was on Varsity for 3 years. Her favorite team memory was the big sleepover in 10th grade, where they all went to Planet Greene the next day. She would give advice to younger swimmers to not be a brat and ruin it for the team. Her favorite quote to keep her inspired is just keep swimming, just keep swimming. She would like to thank her horse for keeping her sane during the season. And the last thing she would like to share is this was hell, but an enjoyable night.
There you go. So thank you, Gabby, for reading for Sam.
All right, seniors, let's have you get ready for your senior swim.
So we have a tradition here at Forks. The four seniors will be hopping up on the swimming blocks, and they will each be doing a 25 choice, whatever they want. Whatever they want. So Greene does have one senior. One senior from Greene getting recognized. Way down there, not sure if we can see her, but that was Sophia Hanselman coming through the arches now. And a little gift from the first coach. You can head back down. You're good. All right. So, the senior swim coming up. Oh yeah, this is a race. Stopwatch is out. Nah, 1650 a mile. Yeah, 1650, it's a mile. 800 IM, whatever. All right, so we have the Hall twins in lanes 2 and 3, Sam Williams in lane 4, and Aaron Wilson in lane 5.
I'm gonna tell you to take your mark, and then we're gonna swim. All right, seniors, take your mark.
And they're off the blocks. Unfortunately, no one did a flip off the blocks. A little disappointed by that, but we'll survive. Cruising down across the pool just for fun. And Sam is done. Here they all come into the wall. Great work, ladies. Congratulations again. It's weird to say at the end of girls' swim season that there is 2 months until graduation, but that is the case here. So we will now be heading back upstairs. There will be a 10-minute warm-up for the team. Well, 10-ish minutes brief warm-up for the team, and then we'll get into the second half of the meet. Here we go. Motion sickness warning. Back up to our little viewing ledge here. So we will be deafening the stream here for about 10 minutes while the swimmers warm up, and we will come back to you live in a few minutes to resume the second half of our meet. See you soon. All right, so we are back. The next event will be the 100-yard butterfly. Again, with both teams short-staffed tonight, Sam Williams will be the only swimmer. So Sam, one of the seniors we just celebrated, come off of her senior night swim right into the 100-yard butterfly here. And she'll be alone out there in lane 3 doing her 100 yards. So that's 4 laps back and forth across the pool. So coming in 50 yards into the race, it's Sam Williams. Halfway through, certainly a long and grueling race. But half down, half to go. "75 yards through, finishing with her last 25 in the 100 butterfly." And we're just making a couple edits to the green lineup for the second half of the meet. Got those in, so we should be ready to rock. And it is senior Sam Williams in lane 3 for Chenango Forks into the wall with a finishing time of, the timing system camera is not connected, and that is 100% my fault, so I apologize. Please stick with me. We did disconnect that when we went down for senior night, so just hit reconnect. And Sam's time, 1:40.31. You did hear a cheer. That was Sam's last ever butterfly, since she is probably not going to be swimming it in sectionals. I think she'll go after other events. And this is the last dual meet of the season, and she's a senior. So some happiness there. I know it's not her or most people's favorite event to swim, so a little happy to have finished that for this foreseeable future. So up next, we have the 100 freestyle. From Chenango Forks in lane 1, senior Jess Hall. In lane 2, Josie Cornell. And in lane 3, Angie Forster. In lane 4, it is Skylar Nowalk. And in lane 5, Natalie Specht. Both those ladies from Greene. All right, so the 100-yard freestyle. I think they're trying to figure out the continuing issues with the timing system there. Hopefully getting it set up, because we do have 5 ladies here. So we won't just know that the one swimmer got first place. So we definitely want a functioning timing system here. So let's go through this again for Chenango Forks in lane 1. Senior Jess Hall. In lane 2, Josie Cornell. And in lane 3, Angie Forster, off to a quick lead. In lane 4, it is Skylar Nowalk. And in lane 5, Natalie Specht from Greene. Now, if history will repeat itself, in the 50, Angie started off with a lead, but Skylar Nowalk was able to build some distance on her in the 50. So here it's a little bit closer after 50 yards. Angie Forster in lane 3. Doing a little bit of a better job of staying in the race, but Skylar is building that lead with each turn a little bit farther ahead, trying to secure first place for Greene. We also have a battle for third back here between Natalie and Josie. It's Skylar off the last wall in first. She's just got to close into the deep end of the wall, 100 yards in. She's got a sizable lead. She will get first place for Greene. Angie Forster coming in solidly in second. Nice fast time for Angie. She was at 111 before. This will get her down in the 109s. It's good to see. Still a battle for third. Josie Cornell and Natalie Specht from Forks and Greene, respectively. Josie's turning on some speed here. What she's got left, she's going to be into that wall for third place for Forks. But right with her, it's Natalie in lane 5. And then finally, Jess Hall wrapping up her race down here in lane 1. She's coming off the last wall, and she will be doing her last 25. It's always nice to see we've got the Greene coach and athletes cheering for the Forks swimmers. I like to see that sportsmanship here. Everyone always focuses on the competition in swimming, but it's about a community. It's about building an understanding and love for the sport, and we like to see encouragement from all teams for all athletes. So a little heartwarming moment there, and Jess Hall is on the wall. Timing system continuing to give us problems, but what we do know is that we had a first place finish from lane 4, 105.33 for Greene. A second place finish for Forks, Angie Forster. Third place finish for Forks, Josie Cornell. Fourth place from Greene, Natalie Specht. And fifth place, Jessica Hall. Next up is the 500. There will be no swimmers from Greene in this event. Now we've got Gabby Backman, an experienced distance swimmer here in lane 3 as a freshman, and sophomore Kaylee Young in lane 2. That said, Kaylee is a diver attempting the 500. Now she has done this before, but I'll give you a little bit more information on that after the start. Swimmers are both off the blocks. Kaylee having a great start, something you expect to see a lot from divers. Really, we're going to streamline to reduce the number of yards she actually spends swimming on the surface. Now, Kaylee in her freshman year last year did swim the 500 a couple times. So did diver Steph Hall. So it's nice of them to be able to actually do this. That said, when they spend most of their time at practice working on their dives on the boards, their endurance is certainly not what it would be if they were swimming all day. So Kaylee's plan here is to just take it slow and steady. This race is 20 laps. It is the longest event in high school swimming, and it will tire her out. So she is just going to set up a pace there in lane 2, take it easy, and slowly plug away at these 20 laps. 2 down, 18 to go. Now, Gabby, a little bit more experienced over there in lane 3. The struggle Gabby's going to run into here is she's got no one from the other team to help pace her. This event is a lot about sort of not necessarily swimming your best time every time. You want to have someone else with you to push you. And Gabby's sort of alone by herself up here in lane 3 right now. Continue to be the only one going that pace throughout the race. So she will try to keep pace as best she can. But especially as a freshman, it's hard to have quite enough experience to really gauge where you are in the race in terms of what your splits are looking like. So how fast each 50 is, how much energy you have left at each point in the race. But what you do see down there on the deep end are a couple of the Fork swimmers that are leaning over into the water with a sign, a counter that shows what lap the swimmers are on. So that sign goes up by odd numbers, and each time the swimmers are coming into the turn in the deep end, their teammate will hold this counter into the water for them to let them know what lap they're on. Again, they need to do 20 total, so the counter will go up to 17, and then on lap 19, instead of showing the number 19, you'll see 2 red panels to sort of let the swimmer know, this is the last part of your race, give everything you've got left. And at lap 18, the starter, the official at the starting position, will sound the horn like you would hear at the start of a race, similar to in track for the last lap of any distance event. You'll hear the starter fire the pistol again, just letting all swimmers in the pool know that that's where we are. So Kaylee Young coming in, about to finish lap 6, and Gabby Backman about to finish lap 8. So Kaylee making sure to catch her breath at each wall. Again, doesn't have a huge endurance built up, so she is just going to be taking this race at her own pace. With no swimmers in this event for Greene, does not matter what speed Kaylee goes, she's guaranteed to get 4 points for Chenango Forks. Second place is 4 points in any events, in any individual event, as long as she can finish the 20 laps. So not necessarily out here to break any records, just trying to fill a spot on the team to help them score tonight. A very noble gesture from her. Is Gabby now halfway done with her race in lane 3, continuing to go along. Now halfway through, she is at 3:27. So if she can hold this same pace for the rest of the race, she will come in right around 7 minutes, which is where she wants to be. So it'll come down to whether Gabby can hold the current pace again. Very tough to do without someone else in the water to sort of push against. I have a lot of distance experience myself. That's what I used to swim in varsity, and certainly swimming out there as the only one going your pace actually makes the race harder. Again, that seems silly, but we talked about that in the 200 IM and the 100 butterfly. Swimming by yourself, significantly more difficult sometimes than racing someone else. If not physically, at least mentally. You've got nothing else going on around you to keep you focused on your pace, your race. But Gabby doing a tremendous job. Kaylee now coming in to almost the halfway point in her race, also making good time. Around 4.5 minutes on the clock right now. Signaling something to the coaches. I don't know what. Shaking her head. I think she just wants them to stop telling her to go faster. I'm sure she's well aware that she should be going faster and doesn't care that the coaches are saying so.
So we're doing 200 to 400.
All right, hold on. Wait, don't leave. So instead of the 200, she wasn't in the 200 free relay. They don't have a team in the 2 free relay. I have her in the 4 free relay already. We added Greene's team already, so I got it. I think that's all set. Make sure they're not adding anyone to any events. Sorry, we're making some changes again here for the Greene lineup for the second half of the meet. But checking back in with our race, Gabby 3/4 of the way done, just touching the wall at 15, again out of 20 laps. She did that at about 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So again, right on pace for a 7-minute 500 there. Maybe just a little bit behind pace for 7-minute 500. Kaylee coming in at 13. What's that?
Wrong. This whole relay instead of the 400 going to 200.
Okay, we're putting that in the 2 free relay. Okay, so we hit
So yeah.
studio mode into the 4 free relay. So they're going next. So more sets. 2 free relay names. They're lane 4, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So that horn again signaling that Gabby Backman is coming into lap 18. She's almost done. You see it looks like Tori Austin down there for Gabby in lane 3, holding the counter, getting the double red panels ready. It's hard for you to see because I know the flags are right there in the way in the view of the camera, but in a second Tori will be holding those 2 red panels into the water. There she goes, telling Gabby this is it in case Gabby has lost count. And Gabby certainly knows it. She's picking up the pace. She's sprinting into that wall, right on pace again, hoping to get in right around that 7-minute 500. And she will do it right around there. Great swim from Gabby Backman. That is lap 20 done and out of the way. Kaylee Young at the 7-minute mark is coming into lap 15 here. So again, just trucking along for Forks because she's the only other swimmer in this race. Guaranteed to get second place if she can finish. And, 5 laps left. She's certainly tired, but the end is in sight for Kaylee Young. So taking it easy on those turns, making sure to get big, big breaths of air in. Keep that oxygen going to her muscles in this long, long, long race. Previous years, Kaylee has gone right around 10 minutes, and she is currently right around on pace for that. So we'll see if she can do so tonight. So 100 yards left, 400 down, 100 left for Kaylee Young. Again, just ahead of pace for a 10-minute 500 here for Kaylee. As I mentioned before, we in dual meets a lot of times have had our other divers, Steph Hall, do this same race just because it's hard to get 3 varsity swimmers on a small team where it is the optimal decision from a logistical and coaching standpoint to put them in this race if they could be somewhere else. Now, as the team continues to grow and modified swimmers continue to come up, hopefully we'll get to the point in the next couple of years where we can fill this race with 3 swimmers and cut the divers some slack here, stop forcing them to do it for us. I'm sure they won't mind. If they want to swim an event, I'm sure they would much rather do one that's not 500 yards long. Kaylee coming in to the last 50. She's almost done. Teammate Gabby Backman in the water there cheering her on from lane 3. Last 50 for Kaylee Young, right at 9 minutes. So can she break the 10-minute mark? The feet giving a little bit of power, the splash getting a little bigger. So Kaylee giving what energy she's got left, but her arms are beat. Off the last wall, the red panels for Kaylee Young, and she's got 25 yards left. The arms picking up a little speed. What energy she's got left. She's putting into this last 25. And the chant begins. And we've got the whole team down here behind the blocks cheering her on. Great race from Kaylee Young. It was a time of about 9:52. So, breaking 10 minutes. Great work. Kaylee's comment, I feel dead, in case you couldn't hear that from your end. That was what she chose to use, the remaining oxygen in her lungs to get out before climbing out of the pool. But great work from Kaylee Young there. Nice to have the divers able to do that for us. So, on to the next event. I don't know what the timing system is doing. It is in a world of its own right now. Who's to say? Thanks. We're 4 minutes into a race. What race? I couldn't tell you. But up next, we have the 200-yard freestyle relay. For Chenango Forks in lane 1, Emily Wilson. And then seniors Jaws Hall, Jess Hall, and Aaron Wilson. In lane 2, Stephanie Hall, no relation to the other Halls on the team. Tori Austin, Josie Cornell, and Kaylee Young just getting out of the 500. This poor girl cannot catch a break. Right back into the water is the last one in lane 2. Lane 3, Lizzie Davis, Sam Williams, Gabby Backman, and Angie Forster from Chenango Forks. In lane 4, it is going to be the team of Nowak Specht, Nowak, and Ketzak. And the race is off. A great start there from Stephanie Hall. Again, as I mentioned before, you tend to see a lot of really good starts from divers. They're very used to jumping into the water, keeping their body line tight, and sliding right through. So Steph off to an early lead, but Lizzie Davis catching right back up with her. So in her 50 here, it's Lizzie and Steph together. Up next in lane 3 for Forks, Sam Williams. In lane 2, Tori Austin. Steph Hall edging at a slight lead, so it is Tori off the blocks first, but Sam Williams right with her. Now, up there in lane 4, we have Natalie Specht getting ready to go in next, I believe, from Greene. They are allowed to change the order of their 4 swimmers, so I'm just reading them off in the order that they were given to me. I don't know which of these girls is which, but if they are following the plan that was on paper, it's Natalie Specht. And finally, we have Jaws Hall down here in lane 1. Now, up in lane 2, we see Tori Austin and Sam Williams battling for second place, both Fork swimmers. Up next, it's going to be Gabby Backman, fresh out of the 500. In lane 3, and Josie Cornell in lane 2. Gabby still apparently has plenty of energy left after that 500. See big splashes coming from her feet, a very powerful kick, arms going fast. She's into the turn and off the wall. Third there, it is Green swimmer Cherish Nowak trying to close the gap on this lane 2 Forks relay. Josie Cornell coming in. It's the final swimmer for Forks, Angie Forster off the blocks in lane 3. Coming in last, it's Kaylee Young in the 500 swimmer. Right back into the water here in lane 2. Can she hold off the team from Greene? It'll be Olivia Ketzak into the water for Greene, trying to chase down Kaylee Young. And Olivia is moving, closing that gap with the lane 2 Forks relay. Meanwhile, in lane 3, it is Angie Forster onto the wall first. We have Jessica Hall finishing up the third leg of the relay for the Chenango Forks team in lane 1. Olivia was able to make up plenty of ground for the Greene relay, so she will bring Greene in second place in lane 4. And Forks relay in lane 2 will come in third. We have Erin Wilson still waiting to go for Forks in lane 1. She is going to be the last leg of this relay. Again, in a 200 relay, we've got 4 swimmers, each swimming 50 yards. So there's Erin off the blocks. 50 yards left for that relay. So order of finish was Chenango Forks in lane 3 coming in first. Greene in lane 4 coming in second. Forks in lane 2 coming in third. Unfortunately, it looks like Erin Wilson did lose her goggles in this race, so swimming with her head out of the water. So as you can see, she is coming into the wall. And it's over. Time of 3:42. Again, the timing system not firing correctly there, but 3:42 for the lane 1 relay from Chenango Forks. So here are the times that we do have. Order of finish was first place, lane 3 from Chenango Forks. Second place, lane 4 from Greene. Third place, lane 2 from Forks. Fourth place, lane 1 from Forks. Again, only 2 relay teams from each school can score, so that would have been lane 3 and lane 2 for Forks. Up next, 3 events left. The 100 backstroke. Lane 1, Emily Wilson. Lane 2, Lizzie Davis. Lane 3, Angie Forster. And lane 4, Natalie Specht. Again, one of the disadvantages of small teams, these girls can't just catch a break. Most of these ladies were just in the water for the previous relay, get a couple minutes or a couple seconds to catch their breath, and they are right back in. A larger roster allows the flexibility of having different people swim the event, sandwiching the relays. But with small teams, you don't have that luxury. Now it is Angie Forster off to a lead. This is 4 laps, 100 yards of backstroke. Angie, one of the freshmen on the Forks team this year, so young, but looking to improve in this event. She didn't swim it very much in modified, mainly found success as a sprint freestyler. Did not swim in 7th grade. Her first year of competitive swimming was last year in 8th grade. And then, with the sort of half of a season we've had here, she's continuing to drastically improve. So we like to see that from the young swimmers. She's coming into the 50-yard mark. She flips over. Very good recovery there from Angie. She flipped over quite early, and you can run into some trouble and get disqualified if you start a new stroke once you pass the forward plane. So once you are rolled over onto your stomach, or at least past 91 degrees from your back, and you're what we call forward facing, you cannot start a new stroke. When Angie did that at the deep end wall, she found herself quite far away from the wall, but luckily had the presence of mind to recognize that, not start a new stroke, kick into the wall, and flip, so she will not get disqualified. Very good recovery from a small mistake there that could have cost her the race. Meanwhile, Lizzie Davis right behind Angie, right on her heels, in lane 2. Angie's into the wall, 133. Lizzie right behind her, right around 137 maybe. Up in lane 4, Natalie Specht for Greene coming into the wall, just about to finish her 100 yards. In lane 1, Emily Wilson starting her last lap. So that is Natalie into the wall, 151.30 for Greene. And Emily's finishing up that race. Her teammates reminding her to use her legs. They are just sort of dragging behind her right now. She's very tired. She can get that kick going. It not only propels her forward, but it stops her feet from sort of dragging through the water and reduces the drag. Emily will stay on her back and finish. Great finish. She almost rolled onto her stomach, but did stay on her back. Again, rolling onto her stomach would have gotten her disqualified. The official saying something to Coach Starr there, but if they disqualify, they typically raise a hand, and I did not see a hand raised. So, good finish there from Emily Wilson. Final times, again, timing system not working for lanes 1 and 2, and order of finish certainly off. The penultimate event of the night, Olivia McPeak, the sole swimmer in the 100-yard breaststroke. So the team's quieting down for the start here. And Olivia's off the blocks into her pullout, up to the surface and going. Her cap slid up a little bit, but as long as it doesn't fall off, it should hold her hair out of her face for this race. Down here at the deep end of the pool, we have Aiden Hopkins cheering her on. He is one of the varsity boys breaststrokers, so he's certainly put in the time to this event. Olivia's cap did slide off a little bit more on her next turn there, so it's doing its best, but it looks like she's got a hair tie or something holding everything in place there. Well, the hair certainly adds drag. The other problem for swimmers with long hair is without a cap, it can end up getting in their face, obstructing their vision, or worse, getting into their mouth and preventing them from breathing correctly. So, the cap doing its best, but Olivia's hair tied back nonetheless, and she's doing great out there by herself. So, halfway done with this race. What you see her doing off of each wall is called a pullout. It's something that breaststrokers are allowed to do. The breaststroke is very strict in terms of what movements you're allowed to make. There are a whole lot of ways to get disqualified in this event, so it's one that younger swimmers and rookie swimmers typically struggle with. There are some people who naturally have the ability to do breaststroke well, Olivia being one of them. So what we see her doing off the wall is one underwater pull that comes all the way down to her hips. Normally, the stroke has to stop at your chest, and then one kick that propels her up to the surface. So that's called a pullout. It's something that they're allowed to do in breaststroke because without it, they're not allowed to do anything else under the water. They cannot do what we call shimmer kicks, which are fast and exaggerated dolphin kicks. They're not allowed to do flutter kicks, so they're only allowed that pullout. Olivia is on the wall with a time of 1:49.11. Including that race, again, as the only swimmer, she will get first place points for forks. And with that, we head into the final relay. It appears that there are no teams for Greene. In Chenango Forks, we have Jess Hall in lane 2, sister Jaws Hall, Emily Wilson, and Kaylee Young. And in lane 3, Gabby Backman, Olivia McPeak, again, just coming out of that 100 breast, Sam Williams, and finally Steph Hall. So I did mention before, the swimmers are allowed to change their order in the relay with no notice. Now, hopefully they run it by the coach first, but maybe we'll see Olivia not go second, considering she just finished her race. She would be allowed to switch without telling the officials anything. As long as the same 4 swimmers are there, the second place swimmer can go anywhere else in the race she pleases. Except first, I believe. So. Ms. Gabby Backman off to a quick start here. This is a 100 for each swimmer. So the previous 2 relays we've seen, each of the 4 swimmers has done 50 yards, but Gabby and every swimmer in this race will be doing 100 yards. So 4 lengths of the pool. Gabby coming in fast on the flip turn. Split time 36:20. And continuing to plug away at these yards. So half down, halfway to go for the first of 4 swimmers in lane 3. You see Jess Hall down here in lane 2 coming into the halfway point in her leg of the relay. Now it is Olivia McPeak climbing up onto the block in lane 3. So despite having just swam her leg of the 100 breaststroke, she will be getting 2 minutes of rest and right back into the water. So Olivia down on the block, getting ready. And into the water as Gabby touches. Gabby split 1:14.32. And now Olivia's off to do her 100. Encouragement from her team for Gabby as she climbs out of the water behind the blocks there. So Jaws Hall cheering on her twin there in lane 2. She's coming into the last leg of her race. Olivia taking a split second to catch her breath again. No rest for her. She comes out of the previous event and jumps right into this one, but she's continuing to plug away. The first leg of Olivia's 100 was around 38 seconds, just over 38 seconds, and she's now doing the second half. So it is Jaws Hall jumping in lane 2 to start her 100-yard leg of this relay. Olivia coming in to finish her 100 yards in lane 3. And next it will be senior Samantha Williams doing 100 freestyle in lane 3. So she's down on the block, she's ready, swinging the arms, and she's off. Right up to the surface, fast flutter kick, fast arms, and Sam's right into this race. So lane 3, 2:37. Making Olivia's split a 1:25.24 if my mental math is any good here. So 1:25.24. For the 100 free. Not too shabby considering, again, she just came out of the previous race. You see Jaws Hall in lane 2. 50 yards in, 50 to go. Same with Sam Williams in lane 3. The final swimmer for Forks in lane 3 will be diver Stephanie Hall, doing her 100 yards of freestyle to finish out this race for Forks. There's no relay team for Greene. Because each relay requires 4 swimmers, having a small team will definitely limit the number of relays you can afford to do without sacrificing tons of individual event swims. There's a maximum number of events that swimmers are allowed to do in each race. So Sam Williams into lane 3, 3:55.88. Her split, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 0.64. 1:30.64. No, that's not right. That's not right. Definitely not right. Please hold. One minute, 18 seconds, 0.32. That's better. It's been a long day, and math is not what my brain feels like doing right now. It is Erin Wilson in lane 2, the third swimmer for the lane 2 relay. Steph Hall is in the water for lane 3, finishing up her last 50. Kaylee Young behind the blocks in lane 2. She's going to be the final swimmer for the Forks lane 2 relay when it is her turn to get up. Erin's still got to do 50 more yards before it is Kaylee's turn. But Steph Hall coming into the wall, including the relay in lane 3, with a final time of 5 minutes, 17.18 seconds. Making Steph Hall's split in the 100, 1 minute, 21.8 seconds. 21.2 seconds, excuse me. That's also not right. Yes, it was. 1 minute, 21.8 seconds. So we have Kaylee Young stepping up on the blocks. In lane 2. She's got 100 yards left to do to end this relay, this event, and this meet for Chenango Forks versus Greene. Now, the timing system is saying that the relay finished at 5:34, but that's not quite correct. They did definitely finish before that. Probably someone missed a touch on one of their turns or something, so the pad is supposed to register a certain number of touches on these longer races, and if someone missed it, it's waiting for touch number 8. They finished the race after touch number 7, so the next time the swimmer bumped into the pad as she climbed out, it did fire and say that's when the race ended, but that's why we've got a timer behind each lane with a stopwatch, backup timing for when our timing system does not work as intended. So Kaylee Young, halfway through her 100, 50 down, 50 to go. Lane 2. She's coming into that last wall. Her kick's driving her forward here. After doing diving, Kaylee has then subsequently turned around and swam 650 yards in the past about 25 minutes. So I'm sure her arms are hurting, but luckily her feet are keeping her going right now. She's got about 10 yards left to end the race. Oh, there's the energy. Putting in what she's got left. Team cheering her on. And it's over. 8 minutes and around 8 seconds. So lots of happiness. A lot of the girls in that lane 2 relay have not swam the 4 free relay before. So it's a good opportunity, especially since 3 of them were seniors, to get that out of the way, and now they can say, yes, I did swim the 400 free relay as a varsity swimmer, even as first-year swimmers, so a nice accomplishment for all of them involved. That will conclude the meet tonight. Based solely on numbers and not on ability, I'm sure Chenango Forks won this. I do not have a final score. The Greene swimmers all swam very well, but again, with the size of their team, it is unfortunately mathematically impossible for them to have beat the Forks team tonight. So they all swam well. We got a final score from the coach out to you guys through email, I'm sure. And other than that, a great swim from everyone involved. That's it for us from the broadcast here at the Chenango Forks High School pool. Thanks for tuning in. We do have sectional prelims next week on Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, thank you. We got Tori Austin here with us. So sectional prelims Thursday night will be coming. Actually, we probably won't be the ones broadcasting it. We'll be hosted at another pool. So you can get the streaming information from Coach Starr later this week or at the beginning of next week. And then sectional finals again at a different pool. So that'll be on Saturday. So this will likely be the last swim meet streamed from the Chenango Forks pool deck this school year. That said, there's only 3.5 months until the start of the varsity season next year. The fall season was postponed until obviously the spring this year, and in mid-August, we will be right back at it. So that does it for us from the Forks pool, and